If Iran had 8 or 10 nukes, could they hold the world hostage?
They could, and they could hold the Middle East, the flows of energy, and the global economy, all of them hostage. A Western-enabled nuclear arsenal in Iran is a threat we cannot live with.
That would create instability in energy markets in perpetuity, right?
Yes.
No worse nightmare for stability, in my view, than a radical religious Nazi regime like Iran having 8 to 10 nuclear weapons. That's just my view. So, gas prices, oil prices. When we neutralize the Iranian nuclear threat through diplomacy or otherwise, do you see gas pricings coming down?
Yes.
Do you agree that if we allowed them to have a nuclear breakout, obtain nuclear weapon material, or actually make a bomb, the instability in energy markets would be perpetual?
Exactly. That was the central energy fear. Besides the human lives and all that, they could threaten the flow of energy supplies, and there's nothing we could do about it.
Do you think the Gulf shares that view, the Gulf Arab states?
I can say with certainty they do.
Okay. Well, thank you and your team for coming.
All right, folks. Welcome to the channel. Listening to this hearing, one thing became crystal clear. Lindsey Graham is basically saying what a lot of conservatives have been warning about for years. Iran is not enriching uranium for peaceful energy. Come on now. Nobody needs 60% enriched uranium to keep the lights on. That's the part the media always dances around. And honestly, Secretary Chris Wright didn't really push back on that point. He practically confirmed it. Iran's regime has a history of cheating agreements, funding terror groups across the Middle East.
My friend Senator Graham, a master of stage, screen, and television.
And a legend in his own mind.
And a legend in his own mind.
That's right.
And time. It's not bragging.
Not bragging if it's true. Not unlike the chairman. Not unlike the chairman. Second only to the chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You don't have to suck up to me. I got no power.
Ms. Secretary, reconciliation passed, and we had $149 million for the Savannah Riverside processing facility that's been reprogrammed to Los Alamos Pit Production Program. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
How do you feel about that?
Well,
I don't feel good about it. We got $227 million that was that's being reprogrammed to Savannah Riverside for the tritium finishing facility. Rather than go through the list, we got a bunch of money being reprogrammed. That wasn't the intent, and I'll talk to you on the phone about it.
And then if you want to say.
And I just want to let you know I know, and I think you're doing a great job, but I'd like to see if we can fix this. When we do things up here, in terms of appropriating, we appreciate it people to follow it, right? All of us. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on, and we'll follow up on the reprogramming here at Savannah Riverside. Do you believe if Iran had a nuclear weapon, they would use it?
Yes, they have stated as much.
Okay. Is there any commercial purpose for 60% highly enriched uranium?
None whatsoever.
None. So there's no commercial purpose for 60% highly enriched uranium. Do you know how the Islamic Republic was able to produce almost over 900 pounds at 60%?
Yeah, deeply buried underground.
Well, how were they able to produce it?
They ran centrifuges.
They cheated.
They cheated from the agreement.
Under the JCPOA, they were disallowed from producing weapons, anything over what, 20%, I think?
And even 20% was the wrong limit.
Yeah, I think 3.6, whatever. There is no commercial purpose for 60%. Whatever deal they had in place limiting enrichment did not work. Are you aware that they fired missiles that tried to hit Diego Garcia, our military base?
Yes, I am aware.
Are you aware that they're not supposed to have missiles that can go that far?
Yeah, it's almost twice the capability they were restricted.
So every regime to restrict enrichment in their missile delivery system has failed. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Midnight Hammer. Midnight Hammer was an operation to destroy Iran's enrichment facilities. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am.
How long does it take to go from 60% enrichment to 90%, which is weapons grade?
About a week.
Okay, so about a week. During the peace negotiations, Iran boasted about having this 900 plus pounds, and you're telling me that technically they could have gone from 60 to 90 in weeks, not months, right?
Correct. That's almost all the way there.
Yes, I'm so glad that Trump stopped that, because that's why Midnight Hammer. Are you aware that after Midnight Hammer, they started trying to start up a new enrichment facility, the Iranians?
Yes.
So that's when we do Epic Fury. Do you agree with the idea that Iran could never have a nuclear weapon because they would use it?
Yes, I do agree.
Do you believe they would use it against the state of Israel?
I do believe they would.
Do you believe they would use it against us if they could?
They've certainly indicated they'd like to.
Yeah, that's not a risk worth taking, is it?
I agree.
If Iran had 8 or 10 nukes, could they hold the world hostage?
They could, and they could hold the Middle East, the flows of energy, and the global economy, all of them hostage. A Western-enabled nuclear arsenal in Iran is a threat we cannot live with.
That would create instability in energy markets in perpetuity, right?
Yes.
no worse nightmare for stability, in my view, than a radical religious Nazi regime like Iran having 8 to 10 nuclear weapons. That's just my view. So gas prices, oil prices, when we neutralize the Iranian nuclear threat through diplomacy or otherwise, do you see gas pricings coming down?
Yes.
Do you agree that if we allowed them to have a nuclear breakout, obtain nuclear weapon material, or actually make a bomb, the instability in energy markets would be perpetual?
Exactly.
We've seen this movie before. What really stood out to me was when they talked about how quickly Iran could jump from 60% enrichment to weapons-grade uranium. Did y'all catch that? About a week. 1 week. That's not a someday problem anymore. That's a right now problem. And this is why Republicans keep hammering national security so hard. Because once a hostile regime gets nuclear capability, the entire balance of power changes overnight. And Graham also connected something a lot of people ignore. Energy prices and national security go hand in hand. The left loves separating these issues, but they're connected. If Iran gains more control and instability spreads through the Middle East, oil markets panic, shipping routes get threatened, gas prices spike, and ordinary Americans end up paying the price at the pump. So when conservatives say energy independence matters, this is exactly what they mean. Now, some people will hear this and immediately scream war hawk, but I think the bigger argument from the right is deterrence. The conservative position is basically weakness invites aggression. If America looks indecisive, regimes like Iran push further. That's how many Republicans see it. They believe peace comes through strength, not endless negotiations that Iran may not even follow. And let's be honest here, Americans are tired of watching billions of dollars move around overseas while major security threats keep growing. Graham sounded frustrated about the budget reallocations too, especially the Savannah River site issue. From a conservative perspective, that frustration is about priorities. If national defense infrastructure matters, then stop moving money around like it's a game. What makes this hearing important is that it wasn't just political theater. They were talking about real consequences: nuclear weapons, energy stability, the global economy, and whether America is actually prepared for what's coming next. And I think a lot of viewers on the right are walking away from this saying, why are we still pretending Iran can be trusted? That's the underlying feeling here. Not fear, skepticism. Deep skepticism. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think America should take a harder stance on Iran? Or do you think diplomacy is still the better path?